Okay, I'm starting now.
We good? Wade, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm sure that everybody else is.
Yeah, go ahead. Somebody, anybody.
Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to get my other beat writers on.
No worries.
They say meeting host one.
I had Rebekah take him after I was
She likes
like
to
my
argue?
legs I can't. But I can't.
I was joking with Karen.
I've let everybody in that's tried to get in.
We can't score. We had 17 in regulation. I was just making up a number.
Yeah. That's so cool.
We shot him 28 to 6.
Yeah, probably 20 of those, but
Good. You want?
Yeah, just
All
go ahead.
right,
Overall
Coach,
thoughts on the game.
quick
You
question. So,
dominated.
you know,
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, yeah, so sorry about that. My first question was, you know, obviously in the year full of a lot of unknowns, there is some normalcy with the senior night ceremony, but is this different from senior years in the past, you know, in the sense that these seniors may stay an extra year or not? I mean, as a coach, I'm sure you probably know, you know, some decisions of the few seniors, or do you not?
Yeah, it was a little different. We met with the seniors about 2 weeks ago when we were on the road up in Kansas, and really said we're open to whatever you guys want to do. It's about honoring you guys, and you know, they wanted to do something, even though some might be back in the spring, some might be back in the fall, and you know, we just wanted to make sure we honored them together, and so we wanted to do a senior night this fall. We will not do one in the spring, even if we play 8 games, 9, whatever it is, we won't do one. And then we'll do another one next fall. So theoretically, somebody could get 2, but we'd rather give them 2 than none. So it was a little different, but it was great to honor those kids, and what a game to send them off with. It was awesome.
And then, well, you know, obviously, you know, you may not want to answer this or not, but are there some seniors that have told you that they will use that extra year of eligibility or not?
Yeah, we've got a good idea, but we'll probably wait, you know, and see what the spring looks like and let everybody get through the spring.
Sure.
You know, and we've got, you know, a couple of kids will still be in school, so that's kind of a no-brainer for them. There's a couple who are probably going to come back, and then a couple who will probably want to see what the spring looks like and where we go from there. So we'll wait to make that announcement, I think, but we've got a pretty good idea of which way they're going to go at this point.
All right. Thanks so much, Coach.
Of course.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach. So I think this was Rebekah George's first goal tonight. What kind of emotions was she feeling, and how did you guys feel as a team?
Yeah, I mean, I'll let Rebekah speak to her own emotion, but I was really excited for her. You know, we talked a couple after the Texas game. You know, that was her first start, and she just worked really hard and deserved that opportunity, I thought. And you know, she didn't get to start this week, because we could say the same about Megan. Megan's worked really hard and deserved to start this week, but we knew Rebekah would play, and I'm just really proud of her. She's worked to develop the parts of the game that we've encouraged her to try to improve on for the last 2 years, and she's getting rewarded for that, and that's a great story. You know, not every kid wants to be told what you need to do better, and you know, she's taken it on board, and we've told her she needs to be a little bit better in front of goal and create more assists and goals, and she stepped up and scored a goal. We've told her to be more aggressive, and she's out there tackling and throwing her body on the line. So I was really happy for Rebekah, because it shows that hard work can pay off, and she deserved that moment. She really did.
And what as a team, just to how that game ended and it being really similar to the West Virginia game, what comparisons directly between those 2 games can you make?
Yeah, it was a different feel because, we had so much of the play in this game. To be fair to Tech, they're a little short-handed this year, and we have a ton of respect for their program, and, they're missing some key pieces. We know that. But they still have some very good players out there, and those kids gave everything they could to try to hang on and get a tie or a win. So we had so much of the game, it just would have felt very deflating if we didn't win, just because I thought our kids played great. Even in the first half down 1-0, I was really happy with most of our play. We just felt like we had to be a little bit better in the final third. And, part of that's on us, but part of that's good defending by them and some great goalkeeping. So the excitement's still the same. You get that goal in overtime, and, Liv sitting right here. We were just joking. She's like, what about all the shots I missed? And I said, nobody cares. It doesn't matter. People only care about the one you make and you win the game. So I was proud of Liv because, to her own admission, she didn't have her best game. She set the bar really high for herself. But to step up in the key moment again and win, it just really shows she's developed into a real leader in the group. I'm really proud of her.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
Hey, Coach, we saw history tonight. I want to let you know there were 19 corner kicks for you guys. At one point, we saw 20 corner kicks flash up on the stats broadcast, so we thought we broke a record. But I guess there was a little bit of a correction there. So it turns out you guys tied a team record for corner kicks. Did you know that before I told you, or is that news to you?
No, it's funny. I have the stat sheet, and I probably with about 10 minutes left in the game, I jokingly said to Karen, she's standing next to me, I was like, we've had 17 corners. We can't even get anything on target. And then I just looked at the stat sheet, and in regulation, we had 17 corners. So we had an idea that we had a lot. I didn't realize it was that many, but some of our delivery was good. Some of it wasn't. They also have a superstar goalkeeper who was catching a lot of high balls. But, yeah, that's something we would have regretted if we didn't win that game, was having 19 chances to serve the box and not really putting enough on frame.
And as you pointed out, Coach, nothing really came immediately of those corner kicks, no goals or anything. But I'm curious, are there any other did those 19 corner kicks influence the game in ways other than a goal?
I think maybe a little bit. Just when you get corners, it just adds pressure. It heaps pressure on the other team to defend them. And, they defended them really well. But at some point, it's got to wear you out, right? I mean, you're heading the ball. You're getting, all of our bigger players are coming running in at you, and the keeper's getting bumped. And, you're just hoping for some sort of mistake maybe. But, yeah, I'm sure it wears on you. And, the crowd gets all excited, and it builds a sort of some enthusiasm. So it just kind of helped us at least continue our momentum towards their goal. Even though we didn't score, we had maybe a few scrambles and half chances come up from the corners.
And hey, as impressive as 19 corner kicks for Oklahoma State is, you held Texas Tech to 0 corner kicks.
Yeah, that's kind of an unbelievable stat. It shows to how well we defended. I didn't realize that until I looked at the stats either. Because again, they're a good team. Kirsten Davis is one of the best forwards in our league, and Jordy Haar is a great player, and Jade King, it's her first time back, but she's a really good player too. So yeah, to hold them without a corners, it's good, but we were more focused on our corners and not scoring off one of them, because we'd have been practicing corners for days if this had ended in a tie or a loss, I can tell you.
Hey, wins will cover up a lot. Thanks, Coach.
That's 100% right.
Oh yeah, we got Sam over here in the same booth, if you don't mind. Yeah, Coach, if I would have told you you have 19 more corners than your opponent and 18 more shots, what would you have predicted the score to be?
Maybe 4-1, 4-0, 3-1, 3-0, something like that. That's what the stats say. But again, you ran into a team, when they got the goal, they had something to defend. And that changes everything. They could sit back. You saw their tactics. They got a lot of numbers back. The kids were throwing them stuff in front of shots and crosses and deflecting balls, and their keeper made 4 or 5 terrific saves. So, and that's what you do when you're under the gun a little bit and you've got a lead to hold on to. It just gives you that little boost. So, that was tough for us to fight back. But yeah, the stats were pretty significant, and you would maybe expect us to have a couple more goals.
And I know, that's actually one thing I kind of tweeted out live as reaction to the game is, when Texas Tech went up early like that, even though it felt like y'all were dominating, I know that maybe something that this team has, I guess, struggled with a little bit is being able to break down a team that's gone into a defensive mindset. And, I don't know if you had the same thought or not, but what do you think about that goal by Rebekah George and the ability for your team to, break through, get that team out of their defensive shell?
Yeah, well, obviously, first of all, it is something that's hard for most teams. Whenever you get a lot of numbers back behind the ball, it's just tough to break them down, especially if they're good defenders. And Tech certainly has some good defenders. So it just becomes a numbers game, right? They've got, 7, 8, 9 kids within 40 yards of goal, and you're trying to dribble through them and pass through them and go around them and serve balls. And it's difficult. So you got to give them great credit for that. But again, if they didn't have that goal to hang on to, it might look a little different because they might push some more numbers forward more. And then Rebekah's goal was really, Cammie Huddleston put her body on the line. I know there was a collision in there. The Tech coaches felt like it was a foul. I didn't see it. I just thought that it was kind of a coming together. They were all going for the ball, it looked like to me. And then Rebekah's composure to slot it home was terrific. It's easy to just, kind of slash at that ball and hit it over the bar because you're kind of panicked. But she was very composed, did a great job.
Yeah, I know Adam had kind of the replay that he got from ESPN Plus and shared with us, and that's kind of what it looked like to me too. It's just a collision where everyone was kind of, going for the same ball. Last thing I'll ask you is, would you have had trouble sleeping tonight if Olyvia wasn't able to cash in and it ended in a draw?
No, I'm past that. I'm too old for that. Sometimes I have trouble sleeping the night before a game because I'm worried that I didn't get the kids ready or do enough to prepare them. But after a game, I don't sleep well anyway because I'm just the adrenaline's running, win, lose, or tie. You're just fired up. So, but no, I told them actually, I think at halftime or maybe going into overtime, they had played so well. I would not have been disappointed in them or in their performance. I would just have been so disappointed for them because I felt like they deserved to win. And so I would have slept. I'll sleep a little bit better because we won, but I would have slept okay.
Awesome, Coach. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. You guys are ready to talk to the real heroes, the real stars, huh?
Hey, Coach, this is our last home game. I just wanted to say thank you so much for your time all season long. We appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you guys for covering the program. You guys have done a great job. We do read the articles. We see all the tweets. So we appreciate you guys. And hopefully we'll have another version of our season here in the spring, and we'll see you guys there.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Coach.
Right. Thank you, guys. I'll put a lip on.
All right.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Olyvia. I'm going to just get started and ask. So take us through both of the 2 goals that you guys scored tonight.
So the first one, I was just kind of at the top of the box, kind of lingering just once the ball was served just for the second ball. Obviously, Cammie did her job, does what she always does, and puts her body on the line, which is what she does every single game. And then Rebekah was standing right there, and I was just yelling, shoot it, shoot it. And she told me she was just thinking, make it, make it. So at the end of the day, I was just there to cheer them on. And then I guess the last goal, Charmaine made a really good run, played me the ball. I felt like my dribbling the whole game was kind of off. But then I was starting to get more in the swing of things toward the end of the game with my dribbling. Now the shooting is a whole nother story. But then I just took a couple touches past a couple defenders, create some space for myself, and just actually slotted it home that time. So.
Thanks, Olyvia.
Of course.
Hey, Olyvia, I know you had a couple corner kicks that you took. I don't have an exact number. Do you remember exactly how many corner kicks you took in the match?
Oh gosh. Probably took close to like 7 maybe or more. I don't know. I just know one of the times when we had a corner, I was like, Becca, can you take it? Like my legs are literally dead. Like I can't take the corner kick because I had just like gone on some sort of run, and I was like, I won't be able to even hit it in the box. So thankfully she stepped up and went and took it for me.
Man, I was gonna say, like, you guys took, I'm sure you heard me talking with Coach Carmichael, 19 corner kicks. does that stat surprise you, or during the match were you kind of like, man, like we sure have a lot of these corner kicks?
Well, I knew we had taken a lot, but I really was not expecting that many. That's a lot of corner kicks. I don't think we've had that many corner kicks ever, or just in a long time. So it's definitely something that we need to work on, finishing, capitalizing on those corner kicks. I know I wasn't doing my job in putting the ball where it needed to be, and but I also know some runs, probably weren't where they needed to be. So it was just, it was good that they were producing, though. I mean, getting corner kicks means you're doing some good work at the end of the day. And then on the opposite side, I know they didn't have any corners, so our defense definitely did their job. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and Olyvia, I know last week we were talking about corner kicks also, and you told me they weren't quite your favorite thing as a player. And I want to get your reaction. How happy are you that you scored that goal in overtime to win the game, and that Coach Carmichael said, "Hey, if Olyvia hadn't have scored that goal, we would have been practicing a lot of corner kicks."
Yeah, I mean, I'm very glad that we're not having to do that, because I know that not just me, but Yokes and Cammie and Allie and Kim, everybody else who gets in the box would really appreciate that as well. And my legs would probably appreciate that as well as Kim's, who takes corner kicks on the other side. So we probably still need to practice them, because it's something that we have the personnel to finish off of. We just have to execute better.
Yeah, and a quick follow-up on that, do corner kicks, was it the actual corner kicks that were getting your legs and Kim's legs so tired, or was it kind of just the other stuff? Are those corner kicks pretty wearing on you as the game goes on?
I think it's a combination of both, because obviously in the middle of the game you're doing a lot of running, wearing down your legs, and then when you specifically have to go over there and whip a ball in, just because it's at like a weird angle anyway, so especially because we were trying to overhit it, and just whipping the ball in is just like a different type of form, and you're like, I don't know how many yards that is from the box, but you're pretty far, I guess, and you have to put a lot of oomph in it to get the ball in the box. So yeah, I would say it's just a combination of both.
Gotcha. Thanks, Olyvia.
Of course.
Okay, yeah, we're just kind of in the same booth, so I'll go now. I guess it's a good thing that your game-winning goals are running together in my mind. You had the game-winning goal against West Virginia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, with that under your belt, was that kind of your mentality, for this game was, I've already done it once, I got to finish, I know I can do it again? Kind of walk me through what you were thinking when the clock was ticking down in overtime.
I think it was more just like, man, I've had so many chances and I haven't capitalized on one, might as well do it now. I mean, every time you shoot, you want to score, but that's not always the reality of it, because you have 4 people that are behind the ball as defenders. You have a goalkeeper in the goal trying to stop the ball from going back to the net. People throwing their bodies, doing their job, the other team doing their job at the end of the day, and you have to do your job to put the ball in the back of the net, which is so much harder. So mainly just, if I wouldn't have made that shot, my next thought just has to be get the next one. My next shot just has to be have the next one be on target if I would have hit it off target, just kind of thinking next future shots instead of just dwelling on the moment, because I know in the past whenever I dwell on a bad shot or a missed dribble or whatever, I can get in my head. So really just in that moment, just being composed, because I had so many other moments where I was composed but maybe just didn't come off right, or I wasn't composed. So just doing my job and being composed specifically in that moment.
And I guess that kind of as a fault to that, I'm not sure how many shots, you had individually. I don't have that stat, but obviously, 28 as a team. So how frustrating is it for you, as someone who's pretty used to goals, to not be able to cash in and have all those opportunities pass you by? How frustrating was it, it felt like y'all were living in the box, and then, look up and the score is 1-1. So how frustrating is that?
I mean, obviously it's frustrating. I thought both halves we dominated, and I felt like we were on their half. Both halves in overtime, if we wouldn't have won that game, it would have felt like a loss, even if we would have tied, because I think that we had the better of the play, we had the better of the chances, and we were in their half literally the whole game. So obviously it's frustrating, but it just happens sometimes. Sometimes you literally just can't buy a goal as an offensive player, or you can't buy your first touch. Just sometimes it's just off and things are off. But I just keep getting reminded by my coaches, by my peers, that like at the end of the day, if you put the ball in the back of the net, nobody really cares about all the extra stuff. And so I just have to focus on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you have the stats in front of you, but 71% of the time the ball was on their half, and then 32% it was in their box. So that's in contrast to 4% that Tech had it in y'all's box. So quite the contrast. Last thing I'll ask you, senior night, kind of a weird senior night, but was it a little extra special to get the win on senior night and, send those girls out right?
Of course, it's always really special to be able to get a win in general. And then obviously on senior night, you want to honor those girls in the best way you can. And win, lose, or tie, I felt like that game, we definitely honored them. We played our game. We played, I think, one of our best games we've played all year. But just to get the win, it was just like icing on the cake. So
awesome. Appreciate it, Olyvia.
Of course.
Are we good? Yeah, I'm good. Unless you guys have anything else, I think you're good, Olyvia.
Good.
All right. Thanks so much, Olyvia.
Hi,
Hey, Rebekah, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, but I'd imagine you're doing pretty well after that goal. Congrats on number 1.
Thank you.
Now, I also wanted to ask you about the corner kicks you guys took. We have the stats up here, and we were kind of shocked to see that you guys had 19 on the match, which is a team record. Like, in all of cowgirl soccer history, you've only had 19. Have you ever been a part of a game where you have 19 corner kicks?
No, it's very unlikely for that to happen, but we were just killing them on the wings, and every single time we just got past them and got the corners. So I didn't even know that we had 19 until about 2 minutes ago, and my coach said that we had 19 and they had 0.
Yeah, that's exactly true. Were you like that's so crazy? Why do you think you guys had so many corners while also holding Texas Tech to 0? Is there a reason behind that, you think?
I think because we just had the pressure on them so hard. I would say that we had possession for the majority of it, and we were probably in their defensive half for the majority of the game. So I think that's probably why.
Yeah, and Rebekah, my last question for you is, was it frustrating at all to have 19 corner kicks and not be able to break through with a corner kick goal?
Yes, it was very frustrating. Every single time you had a corner, you just kept thinking to yourself, this one, it's going to be this one, it's going to be this one. But we ended up finding that anyway, so it worked out.
It sure did. I'm going to pass the computer over to my brother, and we'll get it going. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, we're kind of in the same room, so I'll ask you a question now. So I will ask about the goal that you had. For a while, it kind of looked like it might be the only shot out of 28 that got through. Could you kind of take me through that play?
Yeah. Okay, so the ball got kicked in, and then Cammie Huddleston did a great job of pressing them and putting the pressure on them, and it just happened to get tipped and drop right in front of me, and it felt like the game was almost in slow motion, and I just was watching the ball come at me, and I was like, just a repeat in my head, like, don't miss this, don't miss this, don't miss this, and then it went in, so.
So was it joy or relief that you felt when you made it?
A little bit of both. Relief at first, and then it hit me that I scored, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was really excited.
Awesome, no doubt. And I'm not sure if you have the stats in front of you, but yeah, you were right about the possessions. Y'all had it 71% in their half and 32% in their box, which is in contrast to 4% of Tech having it in y'all's box. So you were certainly right about that. Last thing I'll ask you on a different note, senior night, a little bit of a weird senior night, but regardless, how good did it feel to get a win and send those girls out right?
It felt really good. I've become very close with a couple of them, and so just being able to get that win and have this memory for them, it felt really good to be able to do that for them.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Rebekah.
Thank you.
I'm going to do a follow-up. So you came off the bench and you made the goal. What do you think that gave you an extra confidence whenever you're more fresh than a lot of the players on the field whenever you first enter the field of play?
Yes. So coming off the bench, my mindset is always that the girls that are on the field have been on the field the whole time. They've worked so hard. They've done so much already. And so when I come on the field, I just want to be able to put the same effort into the game that they'd already been putting in. So I think it helps a lot having that energy and having that mindset coming off the bench.
And then the last thing, so that the ball falls right to you, and the goalkeeper's not necessarily directly in the goal. So did you find it, is there like ever a way that you could overthink a shot like that, especially with the goalie not in the box, like in the right spot?
Yes, I would say I definitely was overthinking it. And it was really funny because in our warm-up, I had a situation almost exactly like that, and I missed it. And Justin, one of the coaches, corrected me. And so in the game, I was thinking, I was like, I just had this situation. I can make this one. I know how to fix it. And so I was overthinking it, but it worked out anyways. So
Awesome. Thank you very much.
thank you.
I think we're good. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Congrats on the win. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait. Oh yeah. There we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, Hannah.
Oh,
All right. Sorry. I was just going to start it off. So, obviously moments before kickoff, you go through your pregame ritual. You've done it, dozens and dozens of times, but, it could be quite possibly your last time here in Neil Patterson Stadium. At that moment, what emotions are running through your mind now? And also, do you feel any extra added emotion on senior night compared to just a regular match?
Definitely. It was so crazy to think back to freshman year when, I started off with Cowgirl FC, and it's incredible to think how quickly 4 years has flown by. But there was a lot of emotion. There was a lot of happiness, a little bit of sadness, just, thinking how it is coming to an end. But it was overall happiness, and what a way to finish off senior night with a win in overtime. I mean, what an incredible goal by Liv. It was a lot of emotions, but definitely positive ones.
Thank you. My second question is, can you just take a minute to reflect on your career at Neil Patterson Stadium? Do you have a favorite moment maybe that stands out?
Definitely. I would say my junior year, it was actually Halloween, and we beat Baylor to win the conference. So we became Big 12 champions. It was also senior night. So it was just a really emotional and really awesome night. And that might be my favorite moment here at OSU.
Okay. And then my last question is a tough one, kind of. So, with COVID-19, you have the option of staying another year or not. Is that something you've decided, or is that decision far from your mind right now?
Right now, I'm kind of focused on this season and everything. But once the season starts to wind down,
Sure.
This is going to be on my radar because that's a big decision to make. And if I have the opportunity, to come back for another year, that's definitely something I'm thinking about, because what an opportunity, So once season winds down, that's definitely something that I'll be putting a lot of thought into.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, Henry. So with Rebekah getting her first goal in the first half, what emotions were you feeling for her?
I was so proud of Becca. She has really developed into such an awesome player. I've really seen her take a lot of constructive criticism and really develop her play. And I was just so proud of her to finally get that goal. And I think that it really boosted her confidence. So I'm incredibly happy for her.
And then she did it off the bench, and all the being able to come in for somebody and then produce right away. Is there any tips that have been given to her in the past to kind of boost her in the right direction for that sort of opportunity?
Yeah, no, definitely. Coming off the bench into the game is extremely difficult because the game, it has a flow to it, and you're coming in off the bench and you've got to fit in very quickly. And props to Rebekah. She definitely did that, and she came in and scored an awesome goal. And once again, just so proud of her. I mean, that's extremely difficult. So, this whole time, a lot of the upperclassmen have really been trying to really encourage her, and I'm so proud of her once again, because she's taken that, those tips and that constructive criticism and really just elevated her play. So, what a way to finish the night with a goal for her.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, Hannah, I'm in the same room as Ben, so I might pass the computer to him after I finish, and I think he has a question too. But I'll go first. So I didn't realize until the senior night presentation that you're such a math person. I'm learning more and more about soccer every day covering this team, but correct me if I'm wrong. 19 corners to 0 and 28 shots to 6. That's a big margin, is it not?
I mean, I'm no math wizard, but yeah, I definitely say that we beat them in that area.
So like, if I'd have told you, hey, you're gonna have 19 more corners than Tech and was at 18 more shots, what would you predict the score to be?
Oh my gosh, a lot more than what it was. We definitely had a lot of opportunities, and credit to Tech, they really packed the box in and made it difficult for us to get anything off of that wide play. But we made 2 of them count when it mattered. So awesome job for those girls.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you, obviously Tech got out to a 1-0 lead, and I kind of buckled in like, man, they'll probably compress their team and go into a defensive shell that'll be really hard to break down. I know that was kind of a issue against like Kansas, and I'm sure there have been other examples. Did you kind of feel that a relief when you were able to knock the score back up and force Tech to have to play more offense?
Definitely, it's extremely difficult to come back from a deficit in a Big 12 game, because all of these games are so hard and so difficult and challenging. So for us to get that goal with a couple minutes left in the half, that was really a confidence booster for us, because we'd been playing so well and we were so close to a goal each time. So that was definitely a confidence booster for us to get that goal, and then to stick it out for another 45 minutes and hold them from getting any goals. And awesome job for Liv. She made it count when we needed it.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll ask you about is, obviously when Olyvia got that goal, you guys get the win on senior night. Final game in Neil Patterson Stadium pending. I'm sure Coach Carmichael would love to have you back, but what were you feeling when you realized that Olyvia scored and broke through?
I was so just excited, like just jubilant, happy. I mean, my emotions were just all over the place. It made me realize how much I love this team and how much I love playing soccer, and it was just all these emotions just swimming in my head, and what a way to to leave senior night with a win and just awesome play by everybody. It was just a really good feeling.
No doubt. And I will say it probably won't make it into the stat sheet, but over there on that end, I know you had a shot that like whizzed right over the crossbar that I thought was going to go in. So you almost doubled your goal tally in your career on that shot. So, it won't make it on Twitter highlights, but I saw it and I thought it was pretty nice. But I'll pass off to Ben.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I just had one quick question about the corner kicks that you guys had all game. As Sam said, 19 corner kicks, which like that's a lot from what I've been understanding. Yeah. It was actually a record. It tied a team record, and Coach Carmichael said that even though none of those corner kicks actually got converted into goals, it was really helpful because it put offensive pressure on Texas Tech like the whole match. How important is that to keep that pressure up and keep that pressure right on the team throughout the whole match?
It's incredibly important. I mean, how else are you going to score goals, and really props to our team because for 90 minutes, they continued that high pressure, which is why you saw the stats that you did, all those shots and all those corner kicks. That was a direct result of our efforts to get forward and get involved in the attack. And, although we didn't score off any of the corners, it was definitely definitely clear that we were getting opportunities and so it was just a matter of time before one of those fell our way.
Yeah. Well, congrats on the win tonight, and thanks for all season long being like the best quoter on the team. I know we all appreciate that.
Yeah.
Your thoughtful
Thank
answer.
you so much. Thanks,
I
Anna.
appreciate that. Thank you. We're good? Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.